We're on. Push this. Push this. Push this. Push this. Hello. Push this. Push this. Hi. Trying to get the TV on this. Just a minute. Push this. Get your sister. Let's just got hold of this. I'm just having a game of tug. Can you distract me a minute, babe, while I try and get this basket out of the way?
Hey, what's this? Basil. Basil, what's this?
Sorry, can you hear us?
Basil, what's this? What's this?
What I've done, I don't know if you've used Zoom much, but the way that Zoom works is it focuses on the person that's making the most noise and it cuts out the other person. And when you want to watch your video back, you're going to want good sound quality. Yeah? Can you hear me all right? So on your recording, I've silenced you at the moment. I've muted your microphone at the moment. That's just so that the video, the camera stays on me just while I'm talking. Now, that doesn't mean to say you can't interrupt. I want you to interrupt. Whenever you feel like you're losing track or you haven't quite kept up with me or there's something you're not sure about, or maybe my video cut out and you missed a bit, you know, because it is Zoom and that's what happens, then what I want you to do is give me a really clear wave. Yeah? So you interrupt me by giving me a really clear wave. And the other thing is you've just done quite naturally is to let me know that I'm doing a good job and to let me know that you are keeping up with me, thumbs up. And I need quite a lot of reassurance and confirmation that I'm doing okay. So the first thing I'm going to ask you, and I'll mute myself so that you become the primary video. The first thing I'm going to ask you is I'm going to ask you what your experience of clicker training is previously, what your knowledge so far is. Okay, so if you unmute yourself.
He's got the remote, that's why.
Oh, I didn't see that. Right, that's it. I can't hear you. Oh, hang on. Get off. Get off, Dad, my love. Get off. 1 minute. What's it doing?
Okay, so on your, are you on a phone? Just nod for me, or are you on a laptop?
She's can't hear us. Right. Can you hear us now?
So
we're on a
laptop.
Okay,
so I'm going to mute myself, so you won't be able to hear me. But the reason I'm doing that is so that while you're talking, I'm not cutting you out. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Put herself on mute.
So I can mute myself, so that makes your video sound. Yeah. And then when I need to talk and teach you, I'm going to mute you and unmute myself.
Okay.
All right. Now, what I want you to do is I want for you to let me know what your experience and knowledge so far is about Clicker. Yeah?
0, other than I've read.
Or I can get an idea of where to.
Is it better this on
We're
the
just
light
going to
bit?
have just 1 minute. Yeah, just turn that hot box. Just turn the telly off.
Sorry, no.
Right. Okay. Can you hear us? Right. Okay. So 0 really. It's our first puppy. And I've read the book, the Karen Pryor book. That's it. We've not tried it yet. We have them in hand. We have squishy treats. We've both got a clicker and we've both got treats. We've got a puppy who's just woke up from about 3 hours nap, had a poo and a wee. But don't do your hair. No. She needs to be able to see us both, doesn't she?
So I've muted you. So just give me thumbs up if I've got you right and I've understood you right. So you have read Karen Pryor. So you've gone straight to the horse's mouth. You've gone to the first person that sort of thought up and designed the idea of clicker training. So that's brilliant. Yeah, you couldn't go to a better starting point. And if you've read a book, what you should have understood is that this is not a magical training method. This is not some weird science. This is reality. All it does, instead of us giving responses which might be interpreted wrongly by the dog, we're giving an absolute, definite, clear marker to them that they've made a good choice. Now that takes all of the responsibility off the dog. The dog then can make choices, they can get it wrong, they can try new things, they build their confidence, they become more likely to try new things, and the only consequence is going to be either they will get rewarded because they made a choice that was closer to what's inside your head, or they won't get rewarded. You know, no harm, no foul. So when we're clicker training, we keep it as clean as possible. We keep it very clear for the puppy to understand. And the way that we do that is we have to take responsibility for ourselves. It's us that make all of the wrong choices. If we click at the wrong time, we still owe a piece of food. It's our fault. If we click the wrong piece of, you know, say that bit is right, and when actually it wasn't what we had in our mind, it wasn't what we wanted to train, that's our fault. And the more often that you click at the wrong time, the more likely it is that the puppy's going to get mixed up and think that that's what you wanted. All right. So the very first thing we need to do is we need to make sure our timing's really, really good and that we are clicking at the right time, and how we're delivering the treats is actually helping the puppy to understand better. Okay. Now, question for you, and you can answer this with a nod or a shake. Have you already started introducing the noise to the puppy and associating it with food? Brilliant. Good. I'm glad you said no, because if you had, it would make my next bit quite difficult. All right. What we're going to talk about is the mechanics bit, the sort of sciencey bit, the bit that you get really irritated with yourself for if you get it wrong. Okay. So you've got a clicker. They come in all sorts of different shapes and sizes. Mine's got a homemade lanyard on it, but it is just a noisemaker. It looks like yours is very similar. And all you need is to be able to hold it in a way that you can easily press the button. Yeah. So lots of different people develop different ways of holding them. Some people like to have a hook or something on their fingers. Some have a wrist strap so that it stays somewhere close and easy to get a hold of. So you're not worrying about dropping it or thinking about it. The next thing to think about is, can you press your thumb easily without having to fiddle? So you need to get it into a position in your hand so it's comfortable and your thumb's already in position, so that when you do decide you're going to click, you're going to click straight away. You're not going to have that moment of fiddling and thinking, oh, have I got hold of it properly? Am I doing it right? Okay. When you do click, it's once in and then just release. So we're not going to keep our thumb on it. I want you to be thinking click, release. Yeah, because if you're not careful with some clickers, what you'll get is a double noise. Yeah, so it's like this. Can you see? Okay. Now, for every single one of those noises that I make, I want to be able to deliver a piece of food. Now, if I leave a big gap between the noise and the treat, the puppy's less likely to associate the noise with the treat. But, and here's a big but, if I click and move my hand at the same time, the puppy is going to pay more attention to the treat and they won't necessarily hear the noise. Okay, so we need to keep your treat hand still or keep your treats in a pot, which I've got nothing to put my pot on, so you'll have to know that it's there. Okay, here's my hand, treat hand. I'm going to click, reach, and deliver. Okay, and that's 3 separate actions. So that's what I want you to practice now. I want you to set yourself up without your puppy to begin with. We're going to do, and I'm going to take you off mute. You might have to, no, I've done it. That's all right. So I'm going to mute myself because I want to hear you do it and I want to watch you do it.
Hey, this is rubbish, this little back. I could do with a pot.
There's no pot. You said you didn't want it. Do you want this instead?
No, I'm going to use that little tub of it.
Right.
One
Let's go
sec,
see
Joanne.
us. Can you hear us? Okay, it's just going to get a pot. Come here, Papa. Here you go. Do that one, love. You can smell them, can't you? Right, so it's click, hand, treat. Okay.
Oi! No, no.
Come here, what's she doing? Right, you need to show Julie that you're doing 3 separate. Can you stand? If you stand here, she can see you. She
If
can
I
hear you.
can't
now.
hold me,
That's fine.
you
isn't
hold
it?
the phone.
And then hand, and then present treat.
That's it. So I know I'm being a bit pedantic about that, but that's the one thing I think most people and I get wrong as well. You know, quite often I will find my body wants to move as soon as I hear the click, or as soon as I think I'm going to click, my body's all ready to start moving towards the treat. Okay, and one of the things you can do to make yourself less likely to do that is to have a place that your reward hand goes back to after delivery. So we're going to have a number 4. So 1 is click, 2 is move to get your treat, 3 is deliver, and 4 is station. All right, so we go. Here's my pot, I'll put it where you can see it. All right, so we go. Click, move, deliver, station. Click, move, deliver, station. Does that make sense? Got it? So let me see you do that.
Click, move, 4 steps. So it's click, hand, deliver, and then back. So
I'll
you
put it in this hand, so it's...
she can't see you. What do you understand now? Force, so you put your hand back. So no, that's it. And then back. And back here. So you need that's it's 4 steps, babe. Where do you want to put it? You might be able to see you then. Babe.
I can put them in my pocket. So I'm going to put it in my pocket, look.
Okay.
So it's
Stand back a minute, you can see.
Brilliant. So then we had a puppy, don't we? And you'll have to excuse the indoor trousers, I like to call them, otherwise known as pajamas. But, you know, this is life. Welcome to COVID fashion. Okay, so we've got click, move, deliver, station. I want you to practice that a lot on your own without a puppy. And the reason for that is we very, very quickly get into wanting to rush from one to the other. This hand in station is not allowed to move until after you've clicked. Yeah? So click, move, deliver, and back to station. Does that make sense? Okay. Now we need to do the dog part. We need to do the dog part. Once we've got ourselves into the habit of doing that bit, we need to make sure that when we are clicking is the right time, so that we're giving correct information to the pup. All right? That means we've got to watch like hawks. Clicker training is very mentally draining. So I don't want you to do more than 10 clicks in a row and then have a break, because it's very, very focused. But the first part is relatively easy, because the first part is teaching the puppy that that noise means something. If that noise doesn't mean anything, why would they listen for it? Okay, so I'm going to get a dog. I'm going to show you the very first little exercise that you're going to do. I'll have Dodo. Yeah. So here's a Dodo. Get off, they're mine. Thank you very much, Monster. Does anybody want a ginger dog? I've got a spare. Okay, so let me get you where you can see. All right. So, leave it for a minute. Thank you. Let's move you so you can see my pot. And here's my dog. Okay, so let's imagine he's never done any clicker before at all. And I'm ready to go. I've chosen a station. Choose where's comfortable for you. Okay, it doesn't have to be here. You don't have to do a silly dance. Anywhere that's comfortable for you. Don't point the clicker at your dog. If anything, with an inexperienced dog, I want it kind of muffled, so against your body or in your pocket or behind your back, so that it's not too loud. And then we go. 4 moves, yeah? At the minute, I don't care what he's doing. I'm not looking for a particular behavior to click, but I am aware when I first start introducing the clicker, some dogs are very quick to start to understand it. So I want to make sure that pup isn't doing anything that I hate. I don't want to be clicking at this stage for things I dislike. So we're going to be going. Now, what you'll notice as well is I'm leaving a gap between each click. I'm not rushing to the next one. When I'm introducing the sound, if I leave a gap, the puppy is more likely to notice that I reach to the food after they hear that noise. If we just do it rapid fire, they're not necessarily going to notice that that sound has got anything to do with the treat. Does that make sense? Yeah, okay, so we do it. Click, move, treat, station, gap. So that's number 5. I know I'm just standing here talking to you, but what I'm actually doing is leaving him a thinking gap. A gap where he starts to wait for that noise to happen again. That makes sense? Happy to practice that. So that's your number 5. What you're going to add on to the end with your dog is leave a gap between clicks. And all I want you to do is make sure that when you do move to put your food in your puppy, that it's within a few seconds of the original click. Yeah, so that's where I know we then start to get silly about it and want to rush to it. All right, so try not to rush yourself. Try and keep your 4 stages and your gap, but at the same time, when you have clicked, make sure that it's getting to the puppy within a couple of seconds so that they do understand the click is followed by food. Does that make sense? All right, so if I mute me and
The puppy.
Yeah, because you're going to have to kneel down.
Want me to do it first?
So what, shall Rachel do 5 and then I'll do 5? Yep. We'll get kneel down.
So what's this? Right, so it's done it already. Okay, if you want to go. Station. Maybe they look out. Click.
Good boy. Good boy. Good boy, Basil.
beautiful. And you can see how difficult it is to make yourself do it in the right order. And you can see why making a point of practicing that without your dog is really, really important. So one of the things you can do is you can practice on your partner when your puppy isn't listening. And you could maybe even use a different noise so you don't mess up your puppy's training. You could use a different way of marking them. So a marker doesn't have to be the clicker, it could be the yes word, but it's in the same order. So it's yes, move, deliver, station, gap. Does that make sense? So when you're practicing together, you could use a word instead of the clicker, so you're not having the puppy hearing the clicker and not having that clicker paired constantly, which it should be, with food. All right. Okay, take a rest because you are thinking hard. I want you to relax and we'll see if we can get us both on camera for a chat without upsetting the whole system. So can you hear me all right?
Yes.
And I can hear you.
Oh, good.
Fantastic. All right. So what do you think of that so far? Did you feel how hard it?
Yeah, it's hard just remembering the steps. Yeah, but no, it makes so much sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Easy.
Yeah.
Good boy.
So what we do when we first start clicker training is we choose behaviors that we can mark which aren't going to matter for the future training. All right. So the best things then to choose for those are things like position training. So teaching your puppy, for example, to go to a particular spot on the floor. If you have something like a flat mat or a tea towel or something that we can just put in the middle of the floor, and we're going to talk about how you plan and how you get to teaching the puppy what you want them to understand.
Okay, yeah, we've got a mat here.
All right, so let me do a little demo. You've got a mat. It's just occurred to me, I'm not sure where mine is.
That's the best man. You could put your shoes.
I'll use a bed because I have. All right, so if I just mute you for a second, we'll use this one. And needless to say, he's going to think that because I've touched the bed, he's going to go straight to it. So training him is going to be fun because he's going to assume that he knows what he's doing. Okay, so puppy's just wandering around willy-nilly to begin with. He's got no idea what you're on about. I don't know where you can see that treat pot. Doesn't matter. You'll have to trust that I'm reaching for it. They're wandering around willy-nilly, being a puppy, not doing anything in particular. And you're going to have an idea in your mind. If the puppy looks at or moves towards or accidentally trips over, has any interaction at all with that mat, then you're going to click. Okay? So you can focus all of your attention on just looking for that. Don't be fiddling with your treats. Don't be worrying about rushing to the food. It's the click timing that matters. Okay, so I haven't asked him or told him, but as soon as he gets to the bed, I've clicked. I'm going to reinforce him there. And because he's done it before, he's not going to get off the bed now because he knows. So I'm going to invite him off, but I don't want you to invite your puppy off until they get glued. So we're going to get him off. All right, so with your tiny puppy, don't forget to begin with, we're not looking for a finished behavior. We're looking for anything that might lead us towards getting on the bed and staying on the bed. So that, as I say, that might be he just happens to touch it with a back leg to begin with. It might be that he just trips over it by accident. It might be that he sniffs it. And all of those behaviors we could take forward later on to become go to your bed and stay on your bed. Okay, so it doesn't matter at this stage, it doesn't matter if you click at the wrong time. It's not going to do any harm as long as you pay after you've clicked, so you're not going to do any damage. And it doesn't matter if he's not perfect, if he doesn't get to the point where he's staying on the bed. Yeah, doesn't matter if he doesn't get there. Good boy. All right, so you give it a go, lay out your mat or something, and all I want you to do, 5 clicks each. Any movement towards, it might even be just looking at the bed. Click straight away, be ready to catch that first movement.
She's looking at me now.
Good boy, darling. Good boy. Good boy, Puzzle. Good boy.
Should we keep clicking?
Got a reward. Get him out of the bed now.
What's this?
Do we want him out of the bed? Stay, keep him in it. Okay, keep him in it. Yeah.
This is on his birthday, look what on.
Good boy, sweetheart. You're such a lovely boy.
Jump up again.
You go. Good stuff. Well, it's Christmas has come at once. Nothing to do on it. Let me do it.
You do two now. So we can see them. And wait.
Beautiful. So you've already got a puppy who's learned to go to his bed and stay in his bed. And he's how old? 8 weeks? That's the power of clicker training. Okay. So that's massive. I know plenty of people who are going to be so jealous that you can demonstrate that's what your puppy wants to do. And we've done that without doing any physical manipulation of him, without having to push him, pull him, lead him, lure him, anything at all. All we did was when he was near the bed, we clicked and then we rewarded him in the position that we wanted him to be in. Does that make sense? Okay. So the question was, and I heard you ask, should we get him out of the bed? Well, it depends what you've got in your mind. If you've got in your mind that you're going to teach him to go to the bed and stay in the bed, then that's what you're going to continue to reinforce, staying in the bed, okay? If you've got in your mind that you're going to practice sending him to his bed, then we can do a thing where we click when he's in his bed, but we reward him so that he comes out of the bed to get the reward. Is that too complicated? Is that all right? Do you think you understand? Do you want to have a go at that? So what I want is the first 5 clicks to teach him that being in the bed is brilliant. But on number 6 click, I want the reward to lure him. So it's on his nose and it pulls him out of the bed and you put it onto the floor. Do you want me to show you with Dodo? Do you want a demo? Or do you understand? Okay. All right. So if I'm you have a go.
Do we do 5 each, Julie? Is it 5 each? Yeah. Oh, Mr. Basil.
I'll stay still. You.
Mr. Basil. What's
Don't
going
forget
on?
5. The first 5 keep him in his bed, so the reward goes into the bed, and then the next 5 reward him while he's in his bed. You click, but the reward goes out of the bed. Does that make sense?
Nina needs to go back to the station. Number 3 then. Can't see that. It's number 4. I know you finished the whole 6. This one you're lowering out with.
You can see him looking at both arms.
Do it then. Now lowering out of the bed.
Good boy. Good boy.
Perfect.
Did you have a go?
Right, so get on it now.
Well, get on now, right? Now. Nothing, nothing. fucking daft, is he? He's quite bright, Julie. Yeah, she's saying he is. He ain't daft, is he? It's such a good time. Right, this is enjoyable, isn't it?
Yeah.
A bit slower than the clay.
Is that number 4?
Number 5, one more. Don't know this was his take, does it? What's that? And blow him off. Yeah, it's that quick, don't it?
Okay, so you should be experiencing still, because you're learning a brand new skill, you should be experiencing how hard it is still to stop yourself from moving with the food before you've clicked. Yeah, you should be experiencing how hard it is to decide when to click. Yeah, so we're going to look at timing a little bit. All right, we're going to have a look at how to think about when to click. And what I want you to think about, what I want you to have an image in your head is, if you were trying to take a photo of the behavior, at what point would you press the shutter on the camera to keep that behavior? Would you press it as the thing was about to happen? Would you press it when the thing was already happening? Or would you press it when the thing was finished? Okay, so the safer option is to be looking at a behavior and try and catch it just before it happens. Because that way, the chances are by the time your brain has processed it, you're going to be clicking at the right time. All right, so we're going to have a look at getting him to do a little behavior that hopefully you can get your timing on. And the behavior we're going to have a look at, he may be too young to do, but we'll see whether or not he can get it. All right. He may or may not be ready for it yet, but we'll see if he can. And what this is called a target. So it's target training. It's the method that is used for teaching dogs on TV, for teaching them to go to a certain spot. So when they're running towards the well to guide somebody to the well, it's because there's a target over there that they know they've got to get to and they've got to touch. It's the method that's used for training lions and tigers and any wild animal in the zoo. We need to make the target really clear. And there's a couple of ways you can do that. You can either make sure that if you're using your hand as a target, you're going to make your hand look different from what it does normally. So you don't generally walk around with 2 fingers really, really straight. Or you could get yourself something to hold so that is the target. The aim of the game is to click as the nose touches the target. All right, so I'll show you with Dodo. All right. Hey, monkey chops, come here so we can get you in view. I need a better camera system. Right. Let's see if we can get you where we need to be. So I'm going to pick my treats up. I'm going to put them, my store is going to be in the same hand as my clicker. That means I've still got to reach into that hand to get them, okay? Clicker's going to go behind my back, so he's not focusing on trying to sniff that hand with treats. Then I've got my empty hand, which is going to be my target. I'm going to offer it. For your puppy, I want you to offer it literally just in front of their nose. No more than an inch. For him, there's my move, reward, reset. And there's my gap. Yeah? move, treat, reset. Move, treat, reset. Yeah, and my gap, because if we just do it over and over and over, it makes it harder for them. So if we go fast, 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 it can make it harder for them to hear that sound and to see what's going on. It also means this gap, you get really nice focus and concentration in. So if I move him a bit closer to you, so you can see the timing. All right, so just before or exactly the same time as that nose hits your hand. Does that make sense? Okay. Hang on, you can ask me questions if you like. I'm going to unmute you anyway, so just bear.
So you hold your fingers out. He comes
So as soon
round.
as, so hold our fingers out, as soon as he touches them, click. That's all. Let me do a few, let me do a few.
He enjoys being trained, doesn't he? The focus isn't it, no. No, move it away so he has to move.
No, no,
too.
she's done not more than an inch.
No.
I think it's not probably sight. That was.
Do you move your hand towards his nose really close? Or does you want him to come to you? You're on mute, Julie, sorry. Julie, you're on mute.
So the reason we're starting with a really short distance for him to have to move is we don't want it to be too complicated for him and for him to get it wrong. So we start with it really close to begin with, so literally only has to reach out. It's not just for him to target, it's also for us to practice clicking at exactly the right time.
Okay. When
Yeah.
it comes to a bit, you're just touching him with it.
No, it went like that.
What?
He moved towards
No,
me.
no, you have to hold it and then wait till he touches your nose.
Is this not close enough?
Now, then he moves closer.
I do that, he does. What?
That's it.
You don't do it with two fingers.
Oh. My God. Puzzle.
Okay, let's make sure you understand, because we're not here to cause fights. The dog's movement towards the target is the thing that we're reinforcing. So we click for movement towards touching it. The click timing should be as the puppy's nose is coming into the fingers. Yeah. And the reward, you're doing perfectly because you're rewarding then with the hand that was previously the target. And that helps the puppy to want to go to the hand again. Once the puppy's really confident to go just that inch or couple of inches to stretch out to reach it, then we can offer the target a little bit further away. So they have to move, stand up and move to get towards it. Okay, but if we make that distance too soon, too quickly, that we can put them off. They'll get it wrong, so they won't want to try.
Nothing.
Please put it a bit closer, she said. And then when he moves to you. That's it. That's it.
Sorry. I dropped it.
You don't need this too, does it? Just put your hand back to station. Really, right.
That's why I'm making it a bit closer.
I don't know what station I do. Good. Yes.
Okay, and you've experienced one of the things that really puts people off clicker training is the fact that you have to be patient.
Mm.
Okay, so what was happening there was not a puppy who was getting upset.
Mm.
It's a puppy who was trying to figure out whether or not it really was what they thought it was.
Yeah.
And they needed a thinking gap. So the only thing I would have changed is I would have left bigger thinking gaps between the clicks,
Okay.
so that when the target comes again,
Yeah.
the puppy's more likely to have already processed.
Yeah, so leave it
When
in.
I heard last time, it was when my nose was on the fingers.
Yeah.
Does that make
It's coming out. Got it.
So it is tiring for him to do. So make sure you take decent breaks. Make sure he gets a chance to go for a drink because he's been eating and his throat will get, you know, uncomfortable from having food going down. They can think more clearly if they get to drink.
Yeah.
And they will learn more quickly if they have decent rest periods between training sessions.
Okay.
Basil.
For a his age,
Sure.
I would work for longer than 2
Yeah.
minutes at a time.
Okay.
So that's 10 treats. Now I know we're doing, I want to help you to understand click, but if you really want to do
I
any more,
can't hear.
yeah, does that make sense? Okay, so what I can do though is I can show you me doing some clicker with mine. What I'm going to do is send you a sort of a handout thing. It's not been updated recently. I'm really pleased that you want to learn clicker because I love clicker, but it's quite uncommon for people to ask me to teach them it. So my paperwork and stuff isn't up to date. If I find any new references and things, I'll send those to you. Did John get you to register onto the training group as well? No. Okay, so it might be worth speaking to Dawn about, because you're registered for classes as well, aren't you? I think she said. Yes. All right. So as part of the payment that you make when you pay for your classes, you become onto the training group on Facebook as well. So there's lots of stuff on there, and I can put additional links on there for clicker training if that's something that you're going to think that you're going to keep going with, if you like it. Yeah. All right. So I'll get a dog. I'm going to swap dogs. Can I get rid of you? I want Twiggy. Whoop, come on out. Come on out, Twiggy. So here's Twiggy. And she was mainly clicker trained because she was so very fearful when I first got her that handling her or doing too many movements in her direction would have made her quite stressful. Okay, so she loves the clicker, actively loves the clicker. You see the look on her tail when she sees it. Yeah, and she knows it's something to do with those things there, don't you? We're going to play a little game, which is again about teaching you timing, but it's also about teaching your dog confidence, to offer, to try, to risk, doing something new. Okay, so I'll put you out on the edge of the desk and show you as much floor as I can. And the game is going to be about this object, which is just one of those old baskets that we used to make in school when I was a kid, so that's about 100 years ago. And in this game, there are no rights or wrongs. There is just try. There is just offer. Okay, let's move this so we've got a bit more room. Come on, out of the way. It's the heaviest dog bed in the world. Get off. Great lump. Memory foam is so heavy. Okay, so as soon as I put this down, I want to be ready to start catching behaviours. If I miss the first one, she might not think that that's the game. So we put it down, and I'm going to, that was a click because she moved towards it. Okay, and I'm in rest, and she put her nose on it. She put her nose in a slightly different position. Shall we see if we can move so we can see it a bit better? There's a paw. Nose resting on it. So here there's no wrongs. I'm just looking for different. What can you do? She moved it and she put 2 feet on it. Done that one. Try something else. Okay, so the game, this game is called 101 Things to Do with a Box. It's clearly not a box. It doesn't have to be a box. It can be any object. And you're looking for different, so it's trying different things. So she says, she's moved. Did you see her moving her nose around? Is it if I put my nose here? Is it if I put my nose here? If it is, it put my nose here. She's asking questions. She's trying new things. Okay. So that is a really cute game that you can play with your puppy, which will increase the confidence to try and offer behaviours, and will increase your ability to click at the right time, because in your mind you're going to have, well, I clicked that one already. Can you change to something ever so slightly different? It also gives you an opportunity to see which things your puppy is confident to offer. So some puppies are very much noses. They want to touch everything on the nose.
What's this? What's this? What's this?
How do you deal with that then, Julie, when they're just
You want
fighting
to
like
I
that?
can't hear at the minute.
Don't fight with your puppy.
Yeah.
What do you do there then?
I don't, yeah, it's fine, it's normal. It's normal. I've got something that I want to keep. I feel like you're threatening me and trying to take it off me.
Yeah.
If you continue to try and take it off me, you're going to make me even more worried.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to get aggressive.
Yeah.
What do we do?
What you do instead is you go, you have it, I don't care.
But
And
it's
you walk away.
clothing.
It's a jumper though.
Sorry, darling.
It was Rachel's jumper.
What when they're hanging off your clothes?
If you go still, you go stiff, you don't move, most puppies are going to go, ooh, that's weird. And most puppies are going to let go because your body language is wrong. They're only they're everything that your puppy does. They're asking the question, what happens if?
Yeah.
What happens if I do this?
Yeah.
And if we either risk making it feel like a game, so we're trying to pull the jumper away and that feels like a tug game, yeah, or we risk hurting the puppy by trying to take it out of their mouth,
Yeah.
which is going to make a bad relationship. That's a bad move for the future.
Yeah.
Or we risk scaring them by shouting at them or getting angry with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your options are swap them for that thing that they've got in their mouth. But if they don't want to swap, that's not going to work.
No.
Or go, well, I don't want it anyway. You know, and I've had dogs in the past, puppies in the past, who've done the same. And I've just moved myself out of the jumper, walked off. Have it. Have that jumper. You'll find that there's nothing good about that jumper without me. The other side of it is invite them to bite and grab at things that are appropriate to bite on.
Yeah, we try that.
Get them excited. Get them excited about playing with the right thing.
Yeah.
So
We do try that.
But he gets in a
all attention when
mindset.
they're doing something.
He gets into a mindset where he's just growling and yanking. And we was told with the Caesar Milan just to like that.
Absolutely not.
Right.
Absolutely not. You're going to make him really worried about your hands. We don't want dogs worried about our hands. We want our dogs loving our hands. Okay. If you watch a bitch with her puppies, she doesn't attack them. A good bitch mother doesn't attack her puppies, no matter what Caesar Milan says.
Okay.
And I really want you to throw whatever books you've got from him. Okay. It doesn't work that way. If you watch a really good mum, what she will do is she will lay there for ages with a puppy pulling on her ear, and she'll just completely ignore them. And then when they get bored and they move away, then she will either engage them in a game, which rewards moving away and letting go, or she will get up and she'll move herself away so they can't go back to start again. Yeah?
Oh.
So you go still, you let them find out there's no reward involved, there's no game, there's no continued interaction, and then you re-engage them when they've given up on that thing, re-engage them with something that's appropriate and say, well, if you grab hold of this toy, you can have as much tugging and playing with me as you like. We can go for your life. You can steal it off me, that's fine, take it.
Oh, so you would play tug of war with something that you want him to play with?
Absolutely.
So like now he's got the clicker. So
Yeah.
I don't really want him to have that. But how do it's hard to try and
You need to change your mindset. Why has he got the clicker?
Because we're interested in it.
Right, but why has he got it?
because we let him, I don't know.
Because it was where?
It was in my hand and he took it.
And he's stolen it.
Yeah.
That's fine. So it's normal for dogs. One of the reasons that there's this on here is so that I can reward with the tug game after a click.
Why? What's this?
Normal for your puppy to want to interact with anything that you've interacted with. You made it look interesting by having it yourself.
Yeah.
They're social animals. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if they get hold of something that they shouldn't, like that, shouldn't have an inverted, it's because it was accessible.
Mm.
It was available. It's because you left it where they could get it. And the puppy is being a normal puppy wanting to touch stuff that you touch. So you clear, you tidy, you constantly make yourself aware, take yourself away so that there's no reinforcement. And then you focus really hard on getting them to enjoy a different kind of interaction. So you get the toy and you move the toy around. So one of the, and again, it's on the class when you join the group for the classes, having a toy on the end of a lead or a piece of rope so that you can drag it around with you, so that instead of grabbing at your clothes, the puppy can see the toy, and whenever they want an interaction with you, they can grab at the toy and you can move them around with the toy.
Okay.
I did share it to Little Types to the page on Facebook. I know that one's on there. It should be within the last few things that I've shared. Okay, but yeah, it is hard. Do you know what? Living with a puppy, absolutely horrible. Foul. They are sharp and nasty and smelly and horrible.
How long does it last?
How long is a string? How long is a piece of string? Everybody's different.
What's
Everyone's
the maximum? A year?
Yeah, I don't know. It really depends on the dog. It depends on your patience. It depends on how quickly they learn. I mean, your pup looks like a good learner. Looks like somebody who's going to learn quickly. The trouble with a very bright puppy is that if you don't keep feeding that brain and teaching them what you do want them to know, if you get into the habit of trying to stop or nag or punish, or then that puppy gets worse.
Okay.
You know, but it is how long is a piece of string? Everybody's different. I mean, it looks like it looks like a pretty bright, smart, busy, fun puppy. You know, but it isn't going to be easy, I'm afraid. They're foul, they're horrible. Can I tell you something? There's been a syndrome recognized in puppy owners that's very similar to the depressive state that new mums go through.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have these expectations of it being lovely and wonderful, and they've got all of these love hormones flying through their body, and then this animal, this child or this puppy blows out, because they're not always beautiful, wonderful, cuddly little things.
Yeah. Sometimes
they're horrible, toothy, pooey, smelly, shouty, drive you absolutely bonkers. So every single puppy I've lived with, at some point I've ended up in tears, thinking, why the hell have I done this to myself? And every single puppy I've ever lived with has lived with me until they're 17, 18 years of age. You know, you do get through it.
Yeah.
But it's not easy. Oh no. But Clicker makes it really easy to teach them what you do like. Yeah. Once you've got these basic bits under control, then well, this girl, come out of the way so we can see you. Good girl, wait there. This girl, she was second hand, or actually I was her sixth owner.
Sixth.
Owner 22 weeks of age.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so if I just mute you a second, there you go. 6 owners by the time she was 22 weeks of age. And that meant that she didn't know how to understand humans. She was scared of them. Everything that they did freaked her out. And now she's a perfectly normal dog. But we had to spend weeks getting to know each other. And does she know how to be a good dog in most situations? Yes, because I've helped her and I've taught her and I've trained her. Not because I've told her off or beat her up or got angry with her. You ready? Sit. You can do paw. That's down. That's bow. All right, get up. Sit. Do paw. Yeah, have a go. All right. So yeah, it does. It kind of makes me angry, I think. And I didn't mean to get snappy with you at all, but the reason I got into dog training was when I first started training, I got a puppy who was very bitey, and he came into rescue from his original owners because they couldn't cope with him. And I thought I could cope. I thought I would be able to cope because I thought I had enough knowledge by then, and I didn't. And he got really, really bad. And the reason he got really, really bad was because I was given really bad advice. I was given advice to squish and squash this dog's personality. I was given advice to tell him off and to make him give in and to dominate him. And he ended up, as a result of that, he ended up giving people bites that needed surgery, that needed sutures. Yeah. And it wasn't until I started learning about reinforcement-based training methods, it wasn't until I started learning those that he started to get better. And from being 2.5 was his last time that he bit somebody, to being 16 when he finally left me, there were no other incidences of bites. Okay. So, and the reason I get angry is because I hate the fact that there's still people going around telling you that you have to squish, squash, or punish your puppy. You set up situations so that they're less likely to get it wrong. So you manage the environment. You don't allow them access to things that they're going to cause problems with. You use cages, you use stair gates. You provide them with things that are legal. She's drinking. You provide them with things that are legal for them to chew on and to investigate, and as many different things as possible, so that they can use all of that natural investigation and curiosity and mouthiness on legal objects. Yeah. You don't give accidental reinforcement for behaviors that you don't like. So you don't start tug games to take things off them. Yeah, we don't aim to take anything off them, because all that does is that just teaches them to want to keep hold of it more. Yeah. So I know I didn't mean to get preachy, and I apologize for that, but it's one of those things, it means so much to me. You know, I want to see people stay with their dogs.
It's biting my
now.
my sock now, nearly my foot. So do I just stay like this?
Yeah, I'm afraid you put up with it. If you've got a really bad bitey puppy, what you do for the first few weeks is you wear your thick Ugg boots or your wellies or your thick socks, and you make it so that there's no response.
Okay, no, that makes sense.
Doesn't get a response.
Yeah.
So there's no point doing it anymore.
Yeah.
Whereas if you squeak or pull away, that's a response, and that might make the puppy think, oh, well, that was good, that was worth it, I'll do that again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What you do when you're playing with a toy or something that you do want them to bite onto, that's when you get excited. That's when you go, oh, get it. Wow. You get really windy up and excited. Get it. We want them. You want them to get really excited about interacting with their own toys and having a toy between us and them. So they're not learning to bite on hands, they're learning to bite on this. Yeah. This thing, this separate extension. Yeah. He's so cute.
He is very cute. He's only nine weeks tomorrow.
Good boy. Good boy.
Sorry, say again. I'll mute you.
He's 9 weeks old tomorrow.
So we can teach him to do this. We can rough him up with that as long as he's not biting us.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
If you were just like you are now, playing rough with your hands, then that's perfect. But if he were to start getting overexcited and biting at your hands, then you can just take your hands away.
Yeah.
And what that's puppy is, if you want me to keep my hands with you, control your arousal levels, control your excitement levels, keep them low. Yeah, so the puppy starts to think to himself, oh, if I bite too hard, the hands go still. The hands they're not fun anymore. Not that hands aren't punishing, but that they become less fun. Does that make sense? Yeah, I'll show you. We'll see if we can get Dodo to play with me. I know Twiggy won't, because she just immediately wants to calm herself down if she starts to feel herself getting overexcited, because she was so worried as a puppy. She doesn't like that sensation of feeling excited. Whereas the ginger boy, come on, you two, out. Yeah, out. Go. Get up, you monkey. The ginger boy, he loves a bit of rough. He thinks playing rough is just the bestest, and he likes to jump up and bite and be silly on invitation. Yeah, you can see he's all like this, and he's not closing his mouth, because he knows if he closes his mouth on my fingers, I'm going to stop playing. So he tries to keep himself calm while I get rough, so that you see? You like that? And if he were to get overexcited, so you can see he's just had fun. What you got? He's gone to find something that's a legal toy. That's a piece of toilet roll. Yeah, he's going to find that because he wants to have something between us to play tug with. Yeah?
Yeah.
He wants us to be separated, so he's not going to make me stop playing.
Okay.
Does that make sense? And later on, you can teach them to let go.
Okay. Yeah, because he bit me, he clamped down.
That's normal.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it's normal. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's normal.
And I just stay still until he releases.
So what you need to do is you need. Yeah, I'm afraid so. And hello. What are you doing? Get off. Can you get off? I know I was fighting. Oh, I left you. Can you reach it? I see what's going on. I left that on the desk. That's his piece of toilet roll. Yeah, so they're in that circumstance where it was a hard bite. What I would want to know about my puppy was there a reason why they were more likely to get over aroused? In other words, either overexcited or over worried. And the reasons why puppies most often get over aroused or have problems maintaining their emotional control is if they are hungry,
Yeah.
if they are tired,
Yeah.
if they need a toilet,
Okay.
if they're thirsty. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay.
if you're playing with them and they've just got wound up, just like a child. And then
He did wee, and he dropped his teething ring in the wee, so I instinctively went like that quite quick. So I think that's probably why you just saw it, and But it was clamped on. I'm bruised.
So the other thing is that sometimes puppies can come to us they've already learned from being with their litter. They've already learned to protect objects from each other. So they call that resource guarding. Okay. Now, resource guarding will get worse if you keep trying to take things from them.
Yeah.
We need to swap we need to teach them to come away from.
Yeah.
Yeah, rather
Okay.
than them to give it up. Because if your puppy already feels like things are going to be stolen from them, so they have to protect them, and then we go around stealing things from them,
Yeah.
we're confirming their fears, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
saying it's, so I think that, I mean, again, have a look at all the other reasons for high arousal levels in puppies, why they're more likely to be bitey. So again, when they're tired, when they're hungry, when they need to go to the toilet, when they're thirsty, when they've just had too much, when they're too
Yeah.
aroused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Think about all those things. They'll affect your ability to control yourself. And then if you see other signs that your puppy has this tendency to guard things, then we'll need to have a look and see if we can help him understand he doesn't need to. He doesn't need to guard things from us, because actually we bring good things. We're the bringer of good things, not the taker of good.
In the kitchen.
Is he? Got in his bed in the kitchen.
I do feel for you. Yeah, you've got yourself a smart cookie. It sounds like you might have a look, see if it's becoming a pattern, or if it was just a one-off, that he doesn't know what you were doing and you surprised him, and then you continued to take whatever it was, and child,
Do that to me.
Bill, stay exactly as you are. Remember, if you jump or moves when he's tugging it, it's still a tug game. So sometimes it's just a case of being patient. Eventually, they'll give up. You just have to work it out. Dodo was like this. Dodo was a nightmare when he was a puppy. Just used to get over aroused at the stroke of a hat. Okay, so there. Feel him let go.
Yeah.
Now slowly take yourself away. Don't continue to touch him. All right. So when he let go, that's when I'm going to start to move, and I'm going to slowly move so that I don't suddenly make a fun. Little toad. I think I would be wearing thick jumpers and thick leggings and thick socks and
just wait for its
for a
pass.
while. Old clothes, so that you're gonna have to wait for him to let go, because he will get bored, because there's nothing.
So I don't try and swap.
You could, but at the moment he's so aroused. It looks to me like he needs to sleep.
Yeah.
He's already a bit frantic. We've done a lot of thinking with him.
Yeah.
So he could do with the rest.
Yeah.
So time out.
So with a puppy really and chewy, the other thing you need to do is get that biting and chewing onto something else. So I would have something chewy available for this puppy at all times. And by chewy, I mean things like stuffed Kongs, dried bits of animal, thing that's going to be in their mouth and they can spend a long.
What's this?
No, it's chew. It's got chew.
What's this?
That's it. So put him to bed for a little while with that, where he can go and settle down, where he's not constantly following you around. Sleep. Puppies need 18 hours of sleep a day.
No, she said put him with it.
18 hours.
Yeah.
You know, they need to settle and sleep for 18 hours a day.
Yeah.
And if we're not making sure in that, they're not going to be thinking straight. They're going to find it harder to focus and harder to keep their self-control, and their tempers will be lost more easily, the same as we are if we don't get sleep.
Yeah. Okay.
So needs lots of chewing, so we can use up all that chewy effort and chewy energy on things that are legal.
Yeah.
Instead
okay. Yeah, he is better when he's chewing, definitely. I mean, he loves that antler. But I don't want to leave him. Is he okay with that in his den, unsupervised?
So you have to be really careful what you leave with them. It needs
Yeah.
to be things that are not going to matter if they're chewed up and swallowed.
Yeah.
So normal brown cardboard without any glue on it, without any, so not things like cereal boxes.
Yeah.
So normal brown, no staples, no sellotape, just cardboard. That's a really good thing to leave alone with your dogs. Things that are designed not to be breakable. So things like the Kong, any
Yeah.
of the Kong toys, yeah?
Yeah.
Or things like Connects, which are quite strong toys, and you can stuff food in them.
Okay.
Or things that are animal, bits of animal. But what you have to be careful with those is when they get it down to the small knobbly bit at the end, while they're not watching, remove it and throw it away, or keep it for when they're older.
Okay.
We don't want them trying to swallow it and gagging on it.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, if you're going to be around and you know that it lasts longer than 20 minutes,
Yeah.
and the puppy's likely to be asleep before they finish it,
Yeah.
then I'd be happy to have that in there with them.
Yeah.
Whereas if you've got a dog, my puppy's Twiggy was massive, Dodo was already quite big. You know, in 20 minutes, he could have got down to that little choking on.
Yeah.
We're not giving them enough rest.
Yeah. We're not sure. Yeah, we might not be giving him enough rest. It's hard because, like we're very conscious that obviously it's lockdown, so we're trying to get him socialised. We're trying to get him out, you know, to meet people, other dogs, as much as we can, and perhaps maybe overdoing that. I don't know, because I spoke to my sister today, and she had a lab. She said, "Oh, I didn't take him anywhere when he was a puppy. It was just, you know, in the garden, and he was absolutely fine." So I don't know if maybe we're trying to overload him with the new experiences.
And think about quality rather than quantity. So
Yeah.
5 minutes of a really nice experience of a brand new sniff in a brand new place, or meeting one person,
Yeah.
where you're not getting over aroused, you're not getting over excited, you're not getting overtired, something really nice happens. It was only 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But that's going to stick in your brain in a really good way.
Yeah.
Whereas if you overdo it and the puppy gets tired, they get over aroused, they get overstressed, they get overtired, then what's going into their mind is not necessarily a good experience in relation to those new things.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I mean,
So it might be with their Labrador.
Sorry, go on.
It might be with your sister's Labrador. They didn't make a special point of socializing, but it might be that he had just enough.
Yeah. Okay.
To make it, and don't forget the different people as well. You know, he may have already been genetically predisposed to being an angel, and he might be a more laid back type of personality.
Yeah.
You can't really compare one dog to another.
Yeah. Okay. So you're saying 1 5 minute a day or 2? What would you say?
I know you're wanting to push me into a corner, aren't you?
No, not really.
I think
it's guidance.
Let's make sure that he has 2 or 3 new experiences of things, whether that be new objects or new people or new places.
Yeah.
New training.
You know, 3 or 4 times a day. And that doesn't need to be for a long time, but it doesn't need for a good.
Yeah. And then the 2 to 3 minutes of the clicker training.
Yeah, so that can be 3 to 5 times a day.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
And then sleep and play.
Sleep is going to need 20 minutes every hour.
Okay. Yeah.
And usually they'll sort that cycle out for themselves.
Yeah,
so
and
you have them investigate.
Sorry. What?
Carry on.
You broke up then. I won't quite hear what you said.
So generally they'll do it themselves. They will play and investigate and learn for 20 minutes. Then they'll settle down and they'll chew and they'll do something that's still for about 20 minutes. and then they'll sleep for about 20 minutes. And usually they go into that natural cycle, and that gets them their 18 hours sleep. Yeah? Can't hear you really.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to have to go anyway, because I've got another one coming up in 8 minutes time, and I need a chance to have a wee. So I need to send you a link to the thing. Have you already joined Little Tykes page?
I think I have, yeah.
If you're
I think so.
not sure, ask Dawn and tell her she said she'd send you some stuff about Clicker.
Yeah.
And I can do this video in the link to the video in the same way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But got to go, otherwise I won't be able to go.
Thank you very much.
So
Thanks a lot.
I apologise if I've upset you at all. It's just you
Not
hit
at
a
all.
little bit.
No.
You hit a bit
We're
of a
just
nerve.
we're conflicting advice. It's like the medical industry, any industry, you get professionals who talk different, they have different opinions.
Absolutely. And the only thing I can do is reassure you that having just done my master's in clinical animal behaviour, you're not going to get anybody that knows more, you know,
Yeah.
for the level of time experience that I've had and the qualifications that I've got, you're not going to get somebody that's more up to date.
Yeah.
And the information changes. It's the problem, you know, as the new science comes out, the information adapts.
Yeah.
That's fine, don't look at it.
I'll just wear
All right.
old jumpers.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, for a bit you are, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
I'll see
you.
you.
Sure.